Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Jurnee Taylor and here are the top stories we're following for you now at noon. We're learning more about the 11 people killed at the dance hall shooting in Monterey Park, California. A look at the latest from the community and a second shooting in the state. Plus, the drag bill drama dragging on, the policy back up for discussion today in the state's Senate. Find out the latest since yesterday's session. And firefighters across the country are fighting more than fires. Later, the fight for better benefits as cancer remains the leading cause of death for firefighters. But first, we have our eyes on the forecast. Many wondering on this Tuesday when and where this winter storm may hit. Nathan, can you help us with that? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jurnee. The rain is moving in. We had some sun to start off the day, but those clouds quickly took over, and now the rain continues to march its way in here from the south-southwest. Look at the temperatures. Everybody is pretty much safely above the freezing mark, but I'm looking at the iDrive Arkansas camera from Scott County, and it is snowing right now in Y City. So those higher elevations are seeing that changeover from rain to snow, and that will continue to be the case as we progress throughout the afternoon into the evening hours. Those snow levels will continue to drop their way from the highest peaks down into the valley areas. So here's the winter weather alerts currently in effect that go all the way through Wednesday morning, and it's primarily for North Arkansas and West Arkansas under a winter storm warning. That's because I'm expecting potential of heavy snowfall taking place in the counties in the pink. Winter weather advisory counties in the purple as close as Perry County and also into Conway County and Garland County. You could see a light accumulation of snow before it starts to wind down going into tonight. But there you see some of the communities in the winter storm warning: Marshall, Jasper, Mountain View, and also Melbourne. So here's what you can expect. Mostly an all-rain event for east and southeast Arkansas and South Arkansas. Rain to all snow for the higher elevations. And also, we've got some wind to contend with. Wind advisory in effect for Little Rock off to the east and southeast. Winds will be kicking in about 20 to 30 miles per hour, but there could be gusts as high as 40 to 45 miles per hour. I'll have more on the timing of when the rain changes over to snow and also how much snow you can see in your neighborhood coming up.
Thank you. Well, today ARDOT crews will be making final rounds after working around the clock Monday, pre-treating. They're making sure roads are in a safe status before any winter weather rolls in. Now, according to Dave Parker with ARDOT, they're following the 3 P's with this winter weather: planning, prepping, and plowing. That salt brine is on highways and interstates in Little Rock and the northwest part of the state, since that's where most of the snowfall is expected. Parker says Monday was their best chance to get out ahead of the storm because how much pre-treatment is out of the way and taken care of makes their job today and tomorrow a whole lot easier. Even with some parts of the state only expecting rain, ARDOT isn't planning on taking the storm lightly.
We're not too concerned about heavy rain tomorrow washing away the salt brine that we will put down. It's not supposed to come in as a very heavy rain, and even if it washes away a little bit, it's still worth doing it.
Now, if you have to be out on the roads once snow starts to fall, Parker recommends using iDrive Arkansas. While heavy snow isn't in the forecast for Central Arkansas, any amount of snow can still cause problems if you don't watch out. And ahead of the winter weather coming to Arkansas, make sure you've got the THV 11 app downloaded. That way you can always get local news and weather alerts. You can also watch our live weather coverage whenever we're on the air. Well, California is grappling with yet another mass shooting in just 3 days. 7 people were killed in the coastal city of Half Moon Bay, located 30 miles south of San Francisco. A suspect has been arrested, and this comes as another victim of Saturday's shooting at a dance studio near Los Angeles has died, bringing the death toll up to 11 people. 9 others were wounded in that incident. Michelle Medina reports from Monterey Park.
The quiet was shattered Monday in the Northern California coastal community of Half Moon Bay after police found 4 victims shot and killed and a 5th wounded at the Mountain Mushroom Farm. 3 more victims who were killed were discovered at another business about a mile away.
This is a devastating tragedy for this community.
The suspected shooter, 67-year-old Chun-Li Zhao, was arrested roughly 2 hours later in a sheriff's substation parking lot. The sheriff's office says the weapon used in the attacks was found in his car.
Zhao is believed to have acted alone, and there is no further threat to this community.
Investigators are working to determine a motive. That incident in Half Moon Bay comes just a couple days after a mass shooting here in Monterey Park near Los Angeles. Outside of City Hall, mourners brought flowers and candles to honor the victims of Saturday's tragic shooting during a Lunar New Year celebration.
We will get through this. We are strong.
A vigil was held last night to remember the now 11 deceased victims, all over the age of 50. Among the dead are Star Dance Studio owner Ming Wei Ma and Fonda Kwan's 65-year-old aunt, Mei Mei Nan.
Shot her first and then proceed to go inside to shoot everyone else.
Police say an attempted second shooting at the Lai Lai Ballroom was prevented when the owner's son, Brandon Say, disarmed the shooter.
I'm feeling well, have some trouble sleeping.
Investigators say the Monterey Park suspect, 72-year-old Hu Can Tran, died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound Sunday as a SWAT team closed in on his van. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, Monterey Park.
Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is holding her first cabinet meeting since taking office. It started about an hour ago at 11 a.m. at the Capitol. Before she was sworn in, Sanders had already announced more than a dozen appointments to lead the state's agencies. The group is made up of both Arkansans and people from out of state. Now, as a side note, later this afternoon, the governor and first gentleman will make an announcement about outdoor recreation as well. Now, as the state Senate meets today, lawmakers will once again be working on the so-called drag bill. It's aimed at restricting drag shows by putting them in the same category as strip clubs. On Monday, it took another small step forward as more co-authors signed onto the legislation. Outside for the second time in less than a week, a small crowd protested on the Capitol steps. State Senator Justin Boyd says there's still a long road ahead.
Let's say it comes to the Senate tomorrow, it passes the Senate, then it has to go to the House, and it has to have 51 votes or 50% plus one of the chamber, and then from there it goes to the governor.
The Senate reconvenes this afternoon. A bill to shift the start dates of schools just got one step closer to passing. The Senate read the bill and sent it to the Education Committee Monday. If passed, the bill would make the first day for all public schools between August 19th and August 26th, bearing some sort of emergency that would make the start of the year more uniform across the state. Now, as far as the specific day, the individual school districts will be able to decide that. Many pandemic programs have gone away, and one to ensure that all students eat for free in Arkansas has ended as well. The free meal program ended before this current school year, but one big thing districts are seeing is the amount of overdue student meal accounts. In Bauxite, families owe nearly $4,000. Bryant has nearly $60,000. Little Rock close to $34,000, and PCSSD has almost $200,000 in overdue accounts. There is no indication that the program comes back, but districts are hoping it does, and soon.
Yes, we'd take it back in a heartbeat. It would be a very easy decision for us.
Kids attend school free, they ride the bus free, they get their books free. Why are we not giving these babies food free? And it just makes sense.
A big issue both districts are seeing is families not signing up for free and reduced lunch, even if they may qualify. We've got links to their applications in other districts over on thv11.com right now. Firefighters put their lives on the line every day, but it's not just the fires that put them at risk. Occupational cancer is the leading cause of death among firefighters. New practices like hosing each other down after responding to calls and using a brush to wipe away chemicals can reduce exposure by 85%. Now, Evan Kosloff shows us another fight underway to make sure all firefighters are protected when they get sick.
Diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's.
One by one, we heard their stories.
I had an appendiceal cancer, which spread throughout the rest of my abdominal cavity.
Firefighters facing off against cancer, for some, multiple times.
The first time I was 29 years old, the second time I was 46, and this time I was 55.
It's what firefighters face every time they suit up and head to a fire, because the smoke that fills a room could be full of carcinogens. Sergeant Frelimo Simba gets emotional when thinking about his diagnosis back in 2011. At the time, cancer was not covered as an occupational disease, so he relied on his fellow firefighters who had to step up and help him.
For the years that I was off, members worked for me so that I can continue to get paid and pay for bills, which led to treatment.
But Simba and others didn't think this was right.
Good evening, Councilmember Middleton.
So in 2012, an effort was underway to change the law, designating 8 cancers as occupational diseases.
I am here today to give you a testimony on being a prostate cancer patient and survivor.
In this grainy 2012 video, you could see firefighter Preston Williams fighting for the law change. He too was diagnosed with cancer and was a good friend of Simba.
He embodied that fight, that push to make things better, and also you saw in him the will to live.
Williams was successful in getting that law enacted in 2013, but sadly he would die from cancer just years later in 2016. Now, all this time later, Simba is keeping the fight alive, pushing for a new bill that would designate 10 more cancers as occupational diseases.
A lot of us feel that it could have been done a long time ago, and that it should be done.
Well, angry music fans claim the online ticket marketplace, Ticketmaster, is a monopoly. After the break, a look at Senate lawmakers grilling the company's executives after website malfunctions. Nathan?
And the rain is moving in Jurnee, but the rain has changed over to snow in Scott County. Flakes are flying around Wise City, and we'll see more of these images, especially in the higher terrain, as the afternoon progresses along. I'll have more unexpected snow totals, and if we don't see any snow here in Little Rock coming up.